Hey everybody, sorry about the lack of rock and roll intro that I usually have, but right now I am hosting our event that I've been working on for a couple of weeks, TROMANIA. Lloyd Kaufman is right inside the right now, and right now they are watching. Can I see? They are watching Romeo and Juliet, which is the next to last movie that is happening before we premiere hashtag Shakespeare's Shitstorm. And just before that film, we're going to bring Lloyd Kaufman, founder of Troma Pictures, on to the stream. So I'm going to go away and hold on. Let me see if I can bring. Go ahead, Stella and Thade. You can go ahead and come in because I don't know if I can bring you in from here. I don't think I can. There you go.
Hey, everybody.
All right, I am going to turn the show over to the capable hands of Stella and Thade while I wrap this up. But I will be back personally with Lloyd. We're going to do some interviews, going to do some promos, and he's going to explain the art of trauma. And we'll take some questions, and we'll go from there. And I will be on our laptop, so I will not be doing this from the phone. So, all right, I will see you guys in a few.
All right. All right, we're going to give it a little bit of time and let some people join in.
Yeah,
Uh,
we started a bit early.
yeah, we started a little early so William could, because I don't have the control buttons for the channels, so. But yeah, so I want to welcome everybody to the Saturday night overnight show. Um, welcome. Uh, I'm gonna shepherd you through just like William usually does till the midnight hour, and we're gonna have an interview here shortly from Lloyd Kaufman of Troma Studios. William will come in and let that. But in the meantime, we're gonna talk about Disney streaming numbers. We're gonna talk about just streaming overall. How you doing, Brian? And then we're gonna discuss the writers' strike, and that's where we're gonna go. So, like I said, I'm gonna let some people roll in before we start. Uh, so I just want to say hi to a few people. Hi, numbers. I'm doing good. You might want to ask Miss Stella there how she's doing. Um,
Okay, got a sore throat. Allergies are still kicking my butt.
Brian, evening, brother. Good to see you in here. Tony, we're good. Or at least I'm good. You heard
Mm-hmm.
Stella. Um, and Vince, I guess I'll see you when you get back.
He's here.
Ah, there you are, Vince. Yeah, man. I hope the strike doesn't last as long as it's predicted either. But you know, the last one went 100 days, so
And the very first one in 1988 went 153 days.
yeah.
So,
So we could be in for most of the year. And then next month we may possibly have a director's strike. So
mm-hmm.
looks like Hollywood for live action is going to be a little slim this year, except for what's already ready for to put out.
Yeah.
Um,
Tony, if it lasts a year, we're all in trouble.
yeah.
And they don't want it to. And like I said, we're going to get into that in a few minutes. So, yeah.
Uh, Vince, there's his last one didn't have streaming and the like around. Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
correct.
It's one of the
There's
things
gonna
I'm going
be
to. Yeah.
there's gonna have to be some changes done to how streaming works, and we're gonna explain all that here pretty soon. So anyway, I'm gonna start out tonight talking about where Disney is right now with Disney Plus and where their streaming is. Um, they released their third quarter earnings. I'm sorry, second quarter earnings the other day, and they're down again. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in trouble. Just means they're needing to restructure. And with Bob Iger coming back in, hopefully he'll get handle that. Plus, they're going to roll sometime later this year. They're going to roll Hulu into Disney Plus. Hulu's going to have a tab on Disney Plus. So that's what we know at present. So I'm going to bring up some of these things that I looked up here for Disney. First of all, this is directly from Disney's share owners meeting. Looks like uh, for the quarter that ended April 1st, for the quarter and for 6 months, they grew 13%, 10% respectively. Uh, their shares went up 26 cents. Oh, it went up to 69 cents from 26 cents in the prior quarter. They are down on subscriber count, but a lot of that has to do with the changes they're making. And having lost the cricket matches from India and everything else, you're going to lose a lot of subscribers from that. And remember everybody, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. And every once in a while, you just got to deal with what's coming. Um, don't listen to the naysayers. Disney's been around a while, and they're going to be around a while longer.
Yeah,
Um,
Disney is one of the more powerful studios. So, as much as there's an anti-Disney movement and stuff, you're barking up the wrong tree, basically. Though these guys are meant to be in business and stay in business. And as much as you gripe and think you're boycotting them, it's not working. They have other revenue streams also.
Okay, and then another thing I have here is from Statista, which is the actual like statistics, which is a website that you can actually trust for once. You'll see the earnings the last couple of years. First quarter, they were at 161.8 subscribers. Now they're down to 157.8 million subscribers in the second quarter. That's really not all that down, to be honest. It's just a few million, and that came from losing the cricket matches in the for India Disney Plus India. Plus, people. One of the things that causes these numbers to fluctuate like they do is people might you know pay a couple of months for Disney Plus because they want to watch a show or whatever, and then they'll drop it until the next show that they want to watch. And you know, the fact that people think that they're going to lose, that they're going to go bankrupt just because of that process. I mean, all streaming services are facing that process. Hey, what's up, Hunter Eggy? How you doing? Hey, Larry, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Missed you the last couple weeks. Um, Can you bring up the Chappie's thing about Hulu going on Disney Plus? There, Stella. There we go. Okay, so basically, what they're going to do with Hulu when they roll it into Disney Plus is it's going to become a tab. Hulu's going to become a tab on the Disney Plus dashboard. So anything that's a Hulu show or movie or whatever will be accessed from that tab. It's kind of what they're going to do when they roll everything into WBD for Max. When they rolled Discovery Plus into WBD, so that's how that's going to work. It's just basically going to become a tab on the dashboard. Let's see, where are we at here? Uh, yeah, that there's going to have to be some relearning, and I know that's going to be difficult, but
Mm-hmm.
it's what we have to do whenever we have older parents that don't understand how to work the equipment and work the programs and all that. So
Ooh.
unfortunately, it's going to be a pain in the butt, but you'll make it, Vincent. You'll. Let's see. Larry, doing well, thanks. Yeah, you were off your here, off your schedule for a bit. Man, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've had a bunch of stuff going on with my daughter. She had some heart issues, and then I haven't really been feeling well the last couple of weeks, so I've barely been making the overnight shows.
Hmm.
uh, Wonder how Bob Iger is feeling about this since he came back at the end of last year. Do you think this is all Bob Chapek's fault, just with some of the damage he did Disney? Okay, so to discuss what happened with Bob Chapek, he was trying to make money, and I think he top loaded things way too much. Um, he he pushed a lot of things and a lot of shows that might should probably not have been greenlit as they were. I'm not saying those shows were bad or any of that, but just saying that I think he gave us too much too quickly, and he glutted the variety that's there, and that caused Disney some trouble. And that's why he was asked to step down and leave. Bob Iger, he's been at Disney for a while. He's come back now to put Disney back on its feet, and then he's going to move on again, and somebody's going to step up in his spot. Um, and then that's gonna shift the power, the power structure. You know, a lot of people are thinking that Kevin Feige may step up and take over not just Marvel Studios, but also Lucas. There's a lot of rumors out there, so of course take it with a grain of salt. Let's see here.
Here, hold up.
So,
Larry has a nice.
oh, thank you, Larry. She's doing well. For now, she's at home resting. She's, basically what happened with her is her blood pressure went sky high, and there was some touch and go moments there for about a week. They had to put her in a chemical coma to make sure that they could bring her heart rate down. She recently had a stent put in her heart, and that was exasperated by a rather horrible experience that her and my son-in-law had where they live. I won't go into it, but they had a scare, and it caused my daughter to go into all sorts of AFib and everything, and they had to really make sure she was going to be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank
Everyone in the
you.
chat. Yeah. Forgive me. Please ask your question once. Um.
Yeah, we will
Yeah.
get to you.
We'll get to you. It's a little slow, but please just ask your question once. Thank you.
What are my thoughts on David Crinswet? I really don't know this actor very well. Now, just from his looks, um, I think he could play Kal-El. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and bring up an image of this guy so we know
Yeah.
who we're talking about.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Honestly, I think he could do it. Stop sharing that. Let's see here. Share screen. Uh,
Yes, Tony. I see it. Don't worry. We'll get to it. I'm just trying to group them in the order that we're talking. The SAG and DGA stuff we'll talk about a little later because I'll try to give a little tutorial on what's going on with the WGA, the Writers Guild
okay,
of America.
so this here is David Crinswet. Um, I think he has the looks to play Clark Kent, especially at the time of the time period that this movie's going to take place. So he has the looks for it. Again, I don't know his acting ability because I don't believe I've seen anything with him in it. But I don't know. I mean, he looks good.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, We'll see how it goes.
Now, of course, take that again with a grain of salt until James actually says something.
Exactly.
Um, we don't know if this is going to be the guy that takes the front run. I mean, there's a list of people that he's looking at, and he's already had to debunk a couple of people recently who were saying this guy is definitely getting the spots. So, just by appearance's sake, though, looks good. Let me see here.
You want to
Let's
ask
see
Anthony,
it.
answer Anthony's question?
Oh, this is why I don't know his stuff. He hasn't been acting for very long.
Hmm. Yeah, he's
Oh,
definitely a
okay,
new
he just
face.
he just started acting in 2011. So
Oh.
yeah, this is why I don't know this fellow. Okay,
Hmm.
I will look into him though. I mean, it seems interesting, but he has some interesting titles on his filmography. So I will have to give him a look. See. Okay, let me come back over there and look at the questions. Realistically, how long do you think it's going to take Iger to fix the mess that Chapek caused when he stepped down the first time and put him in charge? Probably a year, year and a half. Um, you got to understand with this writer strike thing going on. Um, you're going to have a bit of a slowdown at the studios because they're going to all the studios are going to have to come to an understanding with the Writers Guild and possibly with the Directors Guild. So
Hmm.
there's going to be some issues here before it's always darkest before the storm. I mean, it's always darkest before the dawn. So don't fear, it'll be fixed, um, and things will probably get back on track probably early next year. In all honesty, I'm gonna just wait until they announce the actual actors playing the characters. That's basically the best way you can do, the best
Yeah.
thing you can do at this point. Too much with the movie sphere. We speculate way too much, and I think that damages our expectations when it comes to movies and stuff. So if we can hold back the expectations and stop speculating, I think we'd have a better time of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up Anthony's question because since you're kind of talking WB right now.
All right. Stella and Thade, are there DC heroes that you guys can see Matt Reeves bringing into his universe that could work with Pattinson's Batman? Um, since he's doing a real like reality centered down to earth kind of Batman, a lot of the more wild like out of the wild kind of characters are going to be hard to do. I could see him doing possibly guys like the Mad Hatter. The Scarecrow thing could work because that's a toxin. But then again, we had Scarecrow with the Nolan movies. You could do Joker obviously because he's already got uh, that going on. The Riddler. Um, but things like Man Bat and Clayface are going to be very hard to do unless you give them a gimmick that can be down to earth. Um, Poison Ivy is going to be hard to do unless she does what she does with pheromones, which is possible. I mean, there's scientific reasons you can discuss the Batman enemies, the Rogues Gallery. There's scientific ways you can discuss how they're different and everything, and how you could play it off. But some of the more out of control ones uh, are gonna be hard to do. So I'd say guys like the Court of Owls, Ra's al Ghul, but without the resurrection thing. Uh, let's see, the Court of Owls. You could do Jervis Tech. You could do guys like Amygdala and Stirk, Cornelius Stirk. How
Hi,
you doing,
Spider Man.
Spider-Man? Just stuff like that. The more down-to-earth villains. Uh, Fans let speculation become expectation. When it's not the actor that they want, they start attacking the actor, saying it was a horrible choice. That is true.
Yeah.
Um, and that happens way too much, and I hate when that happens because that takes away from what could be a good movie. Poison Ivy. I actually like your idea for this right here. Have her be an environmentalist that just went to the extreme. Maybe she's learned how to use pheromones to control people. That sort of thing. Maybe she can use plant toxins to attack people. But like having giant carnivorous plants suddenly grow out of the ground in front of her, that's going to be kind of difficult to do with a grounded universe. Want to see Matt Reeves do Mr. Freeze and make him a more grounded character because he's a great character in the comics. He could actually do that using cryonics. Cryonics is a thing in science, so you could build an ice gun. Now, mind you, if he ices anybody up, they're dead. There's no way they're surviving that. But I mean, you could do Mr. Freeze as a grounded character.
I think we're good for questions at the moment outside of SAG and DGA.
Okay.
So, are
All
you good with
right.
your Disney stuff?
So
Oh, there's Larry.
it would be incredible if he did Ivy and Freeze in the same movie as a response to Batman and Robin. That would be funny if they did it right. Because Batman and Robin was a horrible movie. uh, Dave, do you think a hero like Green Arrow could work in the Matt Reeves Batman universe? Yes. Uh, with the Bat family, any of the Bat family could work. Hell, like I said, you could even do Ra's al Ghul. You just couldn't do the resurrection, the Lazarus pits. You would have to make that different. Um, but yeah, I mean, Green Arrow would be good. Any of the Robins would be good. Azrael would be good. Um, Lucius Fox definitely. You mean you didn't like the Bat credit card? No. That was some silly stuff, man. Silly.
I think we're good. So,
Yeah. Okay. So, now just to pad out what we were talking about with the Disney subscriber count. Um, Pet Nips, Larry. Come on, man.
uh,
Bat Nips,
Ron is my.
dude. You can't. There's certain scenes in them Joel Schumacher Batman movies that you can't unsee. Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have bat nipples and ass shots on both male and female characters. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
complaining or anything, but there's just some of those shots you can't unsee.
yeah, it was unusual when it came up in the the theater. I'm like, what the hell are you looking at?
Yeah, I agree. Whoever gave Batman a credit card should be fired. He couldn't confirm identification.
Hmm.
That is true. Couldn't
Yeah.
resist the pun. Oh man, believe me, I understand.
Hmm.
I probably would be making those puns if William was in charge right now.
Hmm.
How can you make a fantastical character like Mr. Freeze down to earth? Like people want to see
The
in
butt.
the Matt Reeves Batman universe. Mr.
Mm,
Freeze, like I said, there's certain things as like cryonic guns. Um, I mean, there is an actual science behind a gun that can fire ice. Um, I wouldn't say that it would be completely down to earth, but it's possible in kind of a science fictiony sort of way. Restore Batgirl's nipples or we riot.
mm,
Also, Bane was weird too. Yeah, true. As a 14-year-old, I loved Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. So did I, but I was much older. Vin Diesel for Mr. Freeze or Clayface? Vin Diesel would probably do a good Clayface, but we'd have to figure out how to make Clayface not fantastical. And that's the
mm,
problem. I mean, how do you make a Mudman? Now, the easiest way to do Mr. Freeze would not be to do Hagen as Mr. Freeze. It would be to do the first Mr. Freeze.
mm.
Uh, Let me go ahead and bring that particular Mr. Ah, I spelled that wrong. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not Mr. Freeze, Clayface. That's right. That's who I was looking for. Why did I say Mr. Freeze? Clayface 1. Okay. Basil Carlo. That's right. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, so the first Clayface in the comics was an actor by the name of Basil Carlo, who used makeup to change his face. Um, Now you could do that. You could use Basil Carlo. You just couldn't use some of the older, some of the more recent Clayfaces because, like Hagen or Payne or Fuller, because that's too much CGI. But you could use. Let me see if I can find a picture of Basil Carlo. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my internet hiccuped for a
Hiccup.
second there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, y'all.
It's okay. Mine's hiccuping too. So it's gonna be a
I,
fun
I
night.
I'm sorry about the hiccups, guys, but we will, continue. Just give us time. Um. Anyway, this is. Whoa, where's that at? Yeah. Whoa, wrong guy. Come on. There we go. Um. They could also do Professor Pig or the Ventriloquist. I do agree with that. Professor Pig would be terrifying. The Ventriloquist would be awesome. Um, like I said, you could do Amygdala. You could do Cornelius Stirk. Yes, Liam Neeson in Darkman is similar to Clayface, the first Clayface, Basil Carlo. Give me just a second, and I'll bring up the picture I have of him here. Let's see here. Doo-doo-doo. This is an animated version of Basil Carlo, but basically, he used makeup to change his faces and to take on different guises. Let's see here. Mad Hatter would be another good one. Lady Blackhawk would be a good one. Um, what's her name? You could do Catwoman. That's another one. Dollmaker, Toyman, those would work. Um, oh man, certain person would be mad at me since I forgot this character's name. Hold on. But yeah, there are ways you could do Clayface. I guess like people like the later the later Clayfaces and like Man Bat and stuff like that would be hard to do. But just about every like Victor Zaz would be. Oh, dude, could you guys imagine a Batman movie with Victor Zaz, Cornelius Stirk, and Professor Pig as villains? Ooh, that would be like a Batman horror movie. Yeah, Victor Zaz. Think about that. Victor Zaz and Professor Pig together, or Victor Zaz and the cannibal Cornelius Stirk together. Whoa, that would be a Batman horror movie. You could also like do stories like the Long Halloween. Um, you could do Two Face. Poor guy would be disfigured, but you could do Two Face. Okay, so Anthony says, "Oh, okay. Is there a way you could use the Matt Reeves Batman that Robert is playing build up to the Batman that we're going to see in Brave and the Bold? No, and the reason for that is because the Matt Reeves Batman universe is going to be an Elseworlds title. The Brave and the Bold is going to be James Gunn's core story.
Can I knock out some questions that were asked before?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Is there a way you can connect the Matt Reeves Batman story to where it actually builds up to Batman? Again, we just answered that one.
Just making sure.
All right. Batman and Robin Bane was pretty much Frankenstein, but dumber and only just saying bomb. Yeah, pretty much. Who would you cast as Mr. Freeze? Um. Hmm. Dude. I've been watching a lot of stuff with Nicholas Hoult in it here lately, and I think because Nicholas Hoult is really good with like emotion and everything, I think that he could probably play a pretty cool Mister Freeze. He's really good with emotion, so yeah, probably Nicholas Hoult in my opinion. Phantasm would be a good one, yes.
Yeah, don't worry, Tony. We're gonna get to the WGA and all the strike stuff soon.
Let's just take a couple more of these Batman questions
No, that's
and
it. We're
uh,
caught up with those. Everything else is just
okay.
the
All right,
guild.
so real quick, I'm going to mention the basically the other streaming services are in the same. I'm very curious if Batman Brave and the Bold will be anything like the animated series of the same name, like very fantastical and a lot of obscure characters. I don't know. He really hasn't given. James Gunn hasn't really given us any idea of what they're going to do. I mean, it would be great because Brave and the Bold was really cool. Are there any Green Arrow villains that have any connections to Batman where it would be realistic to debut him and Robert Pattinson in Batman movie Part 2? Let me look. A real quick question I can answer.
Yeah, well,
Deathstroke. Really love to see Batman and Deathstroke in a Batman movie, and they could do that. They could do Deathstroke in for either Green Arrow or Batman in Matt Reeves' universe. Um, let's
don't worry,
see.
Vince. We'll be here.
Komodo, the Dark Archer, Merlin. Uh, Ra's al Ghul is another villain they share through the League of Assassins. Um, those are some names that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay.
Yeah, Fassbender. He's very talented. Whether he wants to do more comic book hero stuff, I don't know.
Dude, Fassbender would make a great Basil Carlo. The first Clayface, Fassbender would make a good Basil Carlo. And it's definitely a good thing that Fassbender likes doing comic book movies. We'll go ahead and take the last Anthony Manzano question down there at the bottom, and then we'll move on to the WGA. Oh, there goes my internet again. Can you guys hear me? Sound off in the chat if you guys can hear me. Okay. All right. It looks like we lost Stella for a minute. I'm sure she'll be back in here in a bit. All right. Thank you guys. Who would I cast as Scarecrow? Hmm. All right. Let me see here. Who would I cast as Scarecrow? Hmm. Well, I would say probably um, Adrian Brody might make a good older version of Scarecrow. Uh, Adam Driver might make a good Scarecrow. McAvoy might make uh like I said, Fassbender for more like Basil Carlo. Um, James McAvoy, I don't so much see him as a villain. I mean, I've only seen him do villain in one movie, and that he was crazy. So I don't know about that. Um, but somebody like Adam Driver, um, maybe even Evan Peters could do a good Scarecrow. Because if you guys have ever seen Evan Peters in American Horror Story, dear God, he was terrifying. Zachary Quito, he could do it too. Um, that's actually good. Yeah, I like that. He can play scary too. He was also in American Horror Story with Evan Peters. Russell Crowe for Professor Pig. I don't know. That might work. I don't know. Jackie Earl Haley would make a good Scarecrow. He made a good. He made a good uh, Freddy Krueger, but I'm not so sure how much he would make a good Scarecrow. It's possible, but he's also getting up in age, and they're probably wanting younger actors to play the villains. Back to the Scarecrow question. When you analyze him, what do you say? He's more psychopath or sociopath? He's sociopathic, bordering on psychopathic. Oh yeah, yeah, that is a good take. Hold on just a moment, guys. Trying to see what's going on with Stella. Alright. Until Stella comes back, keeps asking me questions. Uh, we're gonna get to Tony. We're gonna get to the WGA and stuff. The reason why I'm holding off on that right now is because Stella's gonna explain some things, being that she's worked in the industry before. and I'm not real knowledgeable about all of the WGA stuff and why the directors are striking and all that. So when she comes back, we will most certainly talk about that. They could also do Black Mask and Anarchy. Yes, they could. Uh, they could do, yeah, because those are again down to earth characters. For some reason, when I rewatched the last Batman movie again, the way they portrayed the villain in that movie, it seems like they were trying to make him an incel. Do you see that too? Uh, yeah, and honestly, I don't like the way they portrayed. Um, I don't like the way they portrayed the Riddler in the first Reeves movie. There we go.
Hello.
There's Stella. All right, welcome back.
Well, sorry. Internet issues.
To answer this question, Rex, I hope they don't. Again, I was not real happy with the way they portrayed the Riddler in that first Batman movie. Um, that is not the Riddler. The Riddler is more of a intelligent uh, villain, and they kind of just played him out as a sociopathic psychopath and or a psychopath, and I don't like the way they played him out. Being as the Riddler is one of my favorite characters, I think they did not do him a service. So I hope in the future that the villains will be more colorful and have, be more like the Rogues Gallery. I will say that. Also, they need to step up those movies because that first movie, I mean, I hate to say it to anybody that loved that movie, but that movie bored me to tears. The best thing that the Matt Reeves Batman movie did was how they portrayed Batman as a detective.
Want to
So
wrap us
yeah,
out
I
with the man questions?
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on with the WGA and the
No, no,
direct
no. There,
possible upcoming.
did you answer all the stuff in the chat about Batman and
Oh,
stuff?
okay. So let's see here. Uh, will Matt will the Matt Reeves? Oh, there we go. How come the WB doesn't pull the trigger on a solo Catwoman movie set in the Battinson universe? I don't know. That would be awesome. I think they should expand on her much better. Um, see, and and look, if you think the Riddler was fantastic, by all means, I don't let me influence what you love. I have my opinions about it. If you love that movie, by all means, enjoy it. And if you love the way they did the Riddler there, by all means. Remember, guys, art is subjective, not objective. If you love it and I don't, that doesn't matter. We can still agree to disagree.
Yeah, another man's trash is another man's gold. All that stuff. No need to hate each other just because we have different feelings or different thoughts on something.
Vince says that the Batman could have been 30 minutes shorter and you wouldn't have lost much. True. That movie was about 30 to 45 minutes too long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be nice if they developed Riddler's character over the series, like making that first film an adolescent version. That I would agree with. If they evolve him further, then I would be happier with it. But just the way he stands right now, no, that's not my idea of Riddler. Um, exactly. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to love everything you love, and you're not going to love everything I love. But as nerds and as nerd culture, what we need to start learning is to agree to disagree and still be able to discuss these movies. You
Yeah,
notice
and
I have absolutely no
guys,
problem discussing the Reeves It's not my cup of tea, but I'll talk to you about it. Go ahead,
yeah, I
Stella.
mean, there's constructive conversation versus just, flinging insults at each other because, oh, they don't like what I like. I'm going to attack them. It's immature. I was taught that is not what you're supposed to do as an adult. You talk to understand the other side if need be. But even if you don't agree, you don't yell at each other, denigrate each other. It's manners. It shows thought. Um, I was trying to help somebody with an argument on Twitter. Basically, it was a bunch of people making nonsense, and I told them, "Oh, damn it! Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?" Yeah, no, I was circling out. Okay, I worked in the legal department. Words are very important in what you say. Words also indicate your level of understanding of something and how you choose. Also, since I've watched and read Legalese, what you say means something. Don't throw words out willy nilly just because you think whatever. And William's coming, so we get to talk about the WG and SAG later. William, if you could hear me, take over.
Doing? Oh, there we go. Oops. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Sorry about this scattershot manner of the show tonight, but obviously we had our event we've been planning for, the one we've been telling you guys about for several weeks now. TROMANIA. It is almost over. We got one more movie to go, which is the Vegas premiere of Shakespeare Shakespeare's Shitstorm. Here's with me the director of that. Not only is he the director of Shakespeare's Shitstorm, he's the founder of Troma Pictures, the longest running independent.
First of all, Mr. Kaufman, I'd like to say love your movies and hello. How you doing?
I wasn't done ingratiating him yet.
Well, thank you very, very much, and thank you to Mr. William Powell for creating TROMANIA. Amazing. With the world premiere of Heidi Moore's Kill, Dolly, Kill. We had a huge full house overflowing yesterday for William Powell's TROMANIA and Heidi Moore's world premiere.
Yeah, we had 6 movies, 3 brand new ones and 3 classics. We had we just finished Romeo and Juliet. We did Class of Nukem High. That was the one that opened tonight. We opened the whole thing with Toxic. I can't remember the most legendary Toxic Avenger with live audio commentary, and then we wrapped up last night with the world premiere of Kill Dolly Kill. So 2 long nights, but we're just about at the end of it.
The Jason Green and I did the live commentary. A very original idea. The audience loved it, and I think we may have revealed some secrets that we have never revealed about the Toxic Avenger.
Might be some prosecutions in New York. No, I'm just kidding. And while we're at it, I want to thank the Glimmering Harpy here, who's in town.
Hi.
Who's been helping out. Yeah. Yeah, she ate at Sister Kim's, so now someone else that can spread the religion.
Hi, Rhea.
So one of the things I wanted to capitalize on while you were here is talking about the new app Troma Now, what that means as far as furthering Troma and how people can get it. Tell me all about it. This is your time to shine.
Well, for the price of one Blu-ray, you can have almost an entire year of Troma Now. 50 years of Troma, and every month brand new movies by the future James Gunn's and Trey Parker's of the coming era. Troma Now, it's on. It's a free app. You can watch Troma Now on Roku and Fire Stick, all the major
Amazon, Fire
Amazon,
Stick,
and Google Play, and Roku is the best. Most of our fans like Roku.
How much does it cost?
Well, it's free the first month. Troma Now is absolutely free for the first month, and then the $4.95. But if you pay $50, you get the entire year, which is about the price of a Blu-ray. So check it out. It's great, and all these new movies, wonderful. And it's probably the only, Warner's and HBO and Peacock, they're losing billions. And Troma Now is our fans are supporting it. They love it, and it's actually making a modest. It grows. It's growing only through word of mouth and thanks to the Sci-Fi Center here in Las Vegas.
I'm a subscriber.
Oh, thank you, William. Thank you.
One of the topics on the show, we were talking about how Disney was losing a little bit of money on theirs and how,
Oh my
how
God,
everybody's pulling
billions,
back. Yeah.
billions.
So yeah, it's ironic that we have somebody here that's that's putting something through that's actually making some
Well,
money.
it's not, it's not really profitable, but our fans love it and it's growing. And
Did you lose $1 billion? Have you lost $1 billion? If you haven't lost $1 billion, you're doing better.
You're right. We're pretty much breaking even, a little profit. But the nice thing is that the fans love it, and it's really inexpensive. So we wouldn't be here for 50 years at Troma were it not for our fans and people like William Powell and also the club Founders Club.
Yes, Founders Club. Wanted to shout out to Christy Larson at the Founders Club. She was part of Team Troma. She's one of my original contacts in Vegas when it came to Troma years and years ago. Her and her bar that she manages, the Founder Club, on, if you're ever in Vegas, Tropicana and Pecos. It's right across the street from the Dollar Cinema. She bartends there. She manages there, and she's been a huge supporter up to the point where even though she couldn't stay the whole time, she showed up last night. And basically, because we had to move to a bigger event or a bigger space, so she was guiding people to the original space to hear. She just helps out, posting flyers, passing out flyers, and spreading the word. So,
well, Christy Larson and I produced a music video. He directed it for the Mapes. But years ago at the Double Down, we did another music video for which Troma was banned and the Mapes were banned at the Double Down for 10 years. But now Christy manages the
she manages. She left the Founders.
Books music for you. Independent musicians and bands. Check out the Founders Club.
Yeah,
it's a great opportunity.
When you can get banned in Vegas, you know you're doing something right.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me we're about to do the Vegas premiere of #Shakespeare's Shitstorm. Tell me
William, we have no sound. William, no sound. Can't hear you. Okay, sorry, folks. We'll be going back to that here in just a minute. Apparently, they're having some technical difficulties.
Hello.
Yeah, he'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Writers Guild and the Directors Guild after Troma.
How about now?
We can hear you
Better.
now.
Okay.
Welcome back.
All right,
All right.
cool. So go ahead. You were explaining Shakespeare's Shitstorm, which we were about to watch
Yes,
here.
based on The Tempest, my favorite Shakespearean play. I got to see it. I was about 8 years old. My mother took me to see it. And if you've seen Mother's Day, you can imagine what kind of a experience that was. And it's a wonderful Troma vehicle with a very old man who's losing power like I am, but creates magic like movies. Movies are magic. We have a monster in The Tempest, and of course in the hashtag Shakespeare's Shitstorm, and we have the beautiful romantic couple, and I think it would be a great double feature, William, with James Gunn's Tromeo and Juliet, and Jane Jensen from Tromeo.
Yeah, she came by.
She
She
was
made a
here
surprise
and watched,
experience.
Class of Newcomb High, and Heidi Moore is here, whose movie premiered, world premiere here at the Science Fiction
Last night.
Center last night.
Check out our Instagram. Check out our Facebook. All the pictures from everything from night 1, night 2 is all there.
And
for
Day
those of you-
Green, Day Green
Day
is
Green
here
is
from both
back there.
Kill Dolly Kill and hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Right.
And you'll see a lot of your Troma
them.
friends who are people from 50 years ago. Lisa Gay, Ron Jeremy,
Ron.
all sorts of actors from our 50 years of cinema. Next year will be Troma's
50 years.
50th.
Wow.
And another way to celebrate it will be the $1 reimagining of The Toxic Avenger, which directed by Macon Blair.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel?
I've
You're-
seen it. It's a
Okay.
totally different Toxic Avenger. Peter Dinklage plays Toxic.
I still can't wrap my
So
head
it's,
around that.
It's totally different. It's Macon Blair made it his own, but there's hundreds of the fans love it in the focus groups. Tons of callbacks to Troma. Anyone who loves Troma is going to love this reimagining, even though it's a $100 million movie. Or whatever.
So you not a lot of remakes. You guys know how I feel about remakes, but you have the founder,
Well, this is something different.
There
This
you
is
go.
Not really. This is almost like another movie.
brand new movie,
But
a reimagining. Yeah,
It's a reimagining, and it's got a huge amount of Troma Easter eggs and callbacks, and fans are gonna. Well, the fans do love it because the focus groups have proven it, and also a lot of fans have snuck into the focus groups, and they love it.
Right.
So I think you'd be very pleased.
I'm looking forward. Peter Dinklage, like I said, he had me at Game of Thrones.
Oh, he's
Yeah, I
terrific.
mean, a Game of
He
Thrones.
loves
I
the
mean-
Toxic Avenger. He loves the movie. We've got a bunch of stars in it. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
in it, and I can never remember his name. The young guy who's in a lot of Sundance movies.
You kept bringing him up, and when we're done here, I'm going to have to find out who he is. Old guy, young guy.
No, very young.
Oh.
Young. He's in those big movies that have about eight iterations.
Tom Cruise.
No, young guy.
Well, Tom Cruise is immortal, so.
No.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's movies. The movies that are so.
Okay.
Whatever.
Are you excited about the Toxic video game?
Toxic Crusader video game, yes, by Retroware. They brought it to our office, and all the young people in our office were playing it. They loved it. It's beautiful, and again, it's not just Toxie. It's got all the Crusaders, Kabuki Man, Class of Newcomb High, Tromaville. It's a wonderful 50th anniversary video game, and it's the young people at Troma were playing it, our employees, and they loved it.
We're gonna play that live on one of these streams one day.
Oh,
Just
that'd
have
be
it
great.
playing it
Well,
live.
until we can get Retroware here. It's
Yeah.
gonna, it's coming out. In fact, why don't you wish list it on Steam? It's a great beat 'em up video game. It's you can wish list it on Steam. Also, big news. You know about this, William, but the TA and 4K, the 4K, all the Toxic Avengers and more are in 4K coming out.
Collector's editions.
August 29th.
Keep that physical media alive.
Very exciting, yeah. And the Blu-ray of hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm is nearly completed. Mother's Day is also in the works. A wonderful. That's going to be great.
It's been. I remember when you first started, because when you were here last time, you had just started prior to the time before last, you were just getting started on some of these, or just getting them going in the right
It takes
direction.
us a long time because we have so many extras, and we have to go back and find people who were involved years ago, and like.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions here from Mr. Kaufman.
Oh, sure.
Lloyd, what are some of your favorite movies of all time?
Well, again, I'm kind of an auteur. I go by directors. So Chaplin, and again, I'm 77. So the movies that influenced me were Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Samuel Fuller, John Ford, Howard Hawks. Movies like The Searchers, The Big Sleep, Samuel Fuller's Steel Bayonet, Jean Renoir's movies. Rossellini's Open City, and La Strada. La Strada by Fellini is wonderful. Stan Brakhage, experimental filmmaker, who is in Trey Parker's Cannibal the Musical. We birthed Trey Parker, James Gunn, Samuel Jackson. A lot of famous people came out of the loins of Michael Urs and Lloyd Kaufman. And
keep that picture in your head for the evening there.
Thank you. So again, it's more the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, but I go by directors. But if you look at movies like #Shakespeare's Shitstorm or Tromeo, you'll see if you know more of the movies of the 40s, 50s, 60s. Well, Tarantino right now, the Hollywood, whatever it is. What is it? Something that happened in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's a genius. And Kansas Bowling. Who's one of my proteges. You can see her Blu-ray on Troma now. BC Butcher, wonderful. She was 16 when I met her first, and she helped to make BC Butcher terrific. And she's living in Las Vegas now. I was hoping she'd show up. Anyway.
All right. We have one last question, and before we're going to go ahead and launch Shakespeare's Shitstorm, go ahead and give me one more.
We've got one more question, and then somebody who says has something for you to remember, Mr. Kaufman. My buddy Larry here says, Lloyd, we met about 20 years ago when I participated in Tromaville on tour with the Warp Tour with our friend Doug Shackman. My band scored his film Punk Rock Holocaust, where you played the devil.
Yes. Doug made a movie, a wonderful movie. And Doug Sackman, I'm still working. Doug Sackman was head of the practical effects on #Shakespeare Shitstorm. The hashtag's very important because it deals. The movie deals a lot with the fact that we have free speech in this country as long as we don't say anything. And Doug Sackman was a wonderful job with the amazing, really great special effects. We're the first movie company to film in Albania, and Day Green is right here at the Sci-Fi Center. She's in the movie. And as we were just saying, there she is with Heidi Moore, and whose movie we had packed. We couldn't have enough seats last night for Kill Dolly Kill.
And Larry also says here, I still have some of your lines in my head. Where's my Chipwich?
Oh yes, that was a Shakespearean line, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes.
From Merchant of Venice.
Okay. This fellow here says, Lloyd, could we suspect more cameos from you in James Gunn's DCU?
Well, I think you must see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I get more positive reinforcement from that than 50 years of my movies. Hey, William, look at that. Well, you have to tell James Gunn you love my performance. He listens to the fans. And I think I'm part of his ensemble, but
you'll be the next Stan Lee.
Nobody could be Stan Lee. No way. Although my first name,
we've
learned with the airplane tickets.
That is a story for another stream. But all right, guys, thank you all. Go ahead and have a great rest of the show. Stella, Thade, I'll pop in when I can, but we're going to go ahead and start this epic #Shakespeare Shitstorm, and I will see you guys throughout the stream.
Thank you. 50 years of Troma. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Alastair there says, holy smokes, is that the guy who founded Troma? All right, guys. All right, so we're going to use that to segue into talking about the WGA strike and all of that. So, go ahead, Stella.
Okay. I'm going by old information, but it'll help with the new. I learned about writing at a Star Trek convention that had a little writers session. Ronald D. Moore, Lolita Faccio, and Brannon Braga were the ones speaking. And yeah, there's a writer strike going on, and it's going to go on for a while. Because, okay, based on old terms before all this streaming happened, basically, a writer gets credit for what they wrote and whatever character they create. Okay? Because, whoever created, I'm going to use Star Trek since, those are the writers I learned this information from. Whoever created Data gets a check whenever Data's in the episode, and everything. And let's say for now, it's 10 cents every time an episode airs. This is in the old days. This is just televised TV, okay? So, whatever affiliate in the US plays an episode that has Data in it, that writer gets 10 cents. Even if it's an affiliate, in the different affiliate, in one state. If there are 10 affiliates and they're all playing Star Trek The Next Generation and Data's in it, they get 10 cents each for each play, okay? Now that goes for whatever country, whatever state. Basically, they tally it up, multiply it by 10 cents, and that's a residual for the writer. Okay? Am I making sense, Thade?
Yes, you are. Sorry about that. I had to step away for a second.
Okay.
I had to ask my neighbors to calm down. It was starting to come through my headphones.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
It's all right.
That was the old style, okay? But that's how writers made money and still can. Because, like, one of the longest running characters is like Fraser Crane from Cheers, and then had his own show, Frasier. That went on for a combined of 20 years. And was it the Charles brothers created Fraser Crane? They get a credit. They, even if like I said, hypothetically, 10 cents for every time that's aired, they get money. What's going on now? Fast forward with streaming and everything, and what is going on with the writers. Writers, for some strange reason, cannot afford to live in Los Angeles. They're doing what everyone else does, works a second or third or fourth job to make ends meet. I've never heard of that before. Okay. What they're doing nowadays is they have 3 or 4 writers, what they call a small writer's room, to get a show going with some scripts. Getting paid as if they were staff writers. And it doesn't mean that they write better or write worse. They're just hired on a different line. Those small writing staffs are getting screwed. They're not getting the money that they should be entitled to. And then now with streaming, as you well know, with Zack Snyder's Justice League, studios have a tendency of hiding their streaming numbers. So that's part of the contention with the Writers Guild. The writers aren't getting the residuals that they deserve. And as far as like creating characters and stuff and these residuals, at the time when I was at this meeting over 25 years ago, that money, those residuals were for life. Those writers, depending on the show and the popularity, should set up an estate and have that money, because that money is always going to be coming in. And that's what's going on kind of with the WGA. And currently, there's no talks between the Writers Guild of America and the studio executives. That is not good news. I haven't researched what's going on with the Directors Guild, but they are in talks with studio heads. But the bad thing about the studios is they're not budging on the writers for some strange reason, and they're the workforce. With the stoppage right now, you're going to feel it with your fall TV schedule and with anything that is coming up at the end of the year, minus movies that are done. And now, because we're coming out of a pandemic and everything was screwed up from that, now you have no writers around to fix things. Now, mind you, people have completed scripts on some things, but you need to have what you don't know is that you need to have a writer on set to change either a line that may not make sense when they're actually running it and acting it, and a staff writer has to be on set to change even a minute stage direction. Okay? So, am I making sense?
Oh yeah, of course. We have a few questions. So we're gonna go ahead and field those questions.
Yeah, let me just say I wasn't watching the chat when I was saying all that because I'm still
Okay.
trying to make sense.
So Alastair here says, since that's the case, do you think being a writer is affordable in other states?
No, this is when okay. For all those who think they can do better than the existing writers that are now on strike, don't be a scab. But if you can do better, do it. Like I said, make sure you get your work copyrighted because those stealing other people's work lawsuits are not very pretty. And it doesn't matter which state you are within America, you're screwed because let's say all these movies making millions of dollars, and again, we're big Star Trek fans. Picard season 3 blew everything out of the water. They actually registered on within the top 10 of the most streamed shows this year. They've never been able to do that before. Terry Matalas, who is the showrunner, meaning he's the producer, director, and writer on that show. He could get a slight paycheck 3 times. But how much you want to bet CBS, Paramount, Viacom is hiding the streaming numbers from him, and he's not going to get the money that he deserves for this magnificent show that he produced this year.
All right.
So,
So next question. This comes from Numbers. He says, "Do you guys think that that SAG-AFTRA will join the strike?"
yes, because they're already on the picket lines with WGA. Fran Drescher, she was out a few days ago at Paramount Studios with the writers. And if you follow social media, you're going to see a whole bunch of actors. Was it Nathan Fillion, Mandy Patinkin, Josh Gad, um, Jay Leno brought donuts.
Walter Koenig was out there.
Yeah.
James Gunn was on the strike line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ronald D. Moore wearing the cap he wore at the 2007 strike.
Yep. So there's a lot of the actors are coming out in solidarity with the writers. Larry says Bob Odenkirk was out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're seeing, if you're paying attention on Twitter, you're seeing a whole lot of actors that are out there. There's been others that have talked about going out there. So I mean, yeah, the actors. So yeah, SAG's going to be there in solidarity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what the writers can get and they're at the bottom of the barrel. As in the business, we call it above line and below line. Um, Writers and producers and stuff are above line, and for those people that get screwed, it's kind of not good. Below line were like grunts like me, PAs, grips, and stuff. We're the we people. We outnumber them, but they need us to get their shows made.
Um, so Chappie's here says, "What's the deal with the director's strike?"
I'm not quite sure. Forgive me, I didn't do the research on that, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty damn close to what the writers want. But at least the studios are talking to the Directors Guild, which is hopeful because everything broke down with the Writers Guild. They're not even talking right now. They're not even at the negotiation table. But at least with the directors, they're talking, and the directors are have a little bit more sway. But again, people like Terry Matalas, even Zack Snyder, writer, director, producer, they're members of all the three of these guilds.
Larry says, "I'm hoping the director's strike also would help for a good resolution for the writers." That what you're seeing right now, and pardon me just a second, Stella. What you're seeing right now is basically the working members of Hollywood, not the some of the actors, but like the directors, the writers. A lot of those guys are going to the mattresses for each other right now. What you're seeing right now in Hollywood is unprecedented in a lot of ways, especially since things have changed with streaming and everything, and those people got to make their money. Some of those guys are just like us. They're everyday people. They work for a living.
Yeah.
They're not always well known people. I mean, you got guys that do like the mini writers' rooms and stuff like that. And just to see Hollywood come together like that gives you hope for the future.
Yeah, because one of the strikers, one of the things I saw was because they left a blank space for some of the writers to make their own saying. One of the writers in the blank space wrote, "Greed is not good." I mean, you have these executives making literally tens of millions of dollars a year, and if they hit a certain amount, they get an extra, you know, $50 million bonus. Why can't that trickle down to a writer? He doesn't need. They don't need to be gazillionaires, but they don't need to be working 5 jobs in order to pay their rent.
Fourth here says, "Are the Netflix writers part of the WGA?" Most
Yes.
likely.
Yeah, they're picketing in front of WGA, which is part of KTLA. I think they share the same complex. Um, they're Warner Brothers. Their strike lines all over the place, and like I said, a lot of the um, members of SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, are participating in the strike. Um, Again, Ronald D. Moore, who's a showrunner who was a showrunner for Outlander and other stuff, came from Star Trek. That this affects him too. He has, he's made plenty of money, but he's on the picket line with his fellow writers. Oh, I saw a picture of a female writer who said,
Okay, so Larry says it's very encouraging to see them standing together.
yeah, because again, I saw a picture of a female writer who said, and bring back Henry Cavill as Superman. Yeah, that made me smile. Yeah, I mean, the writers know what's going on. They're in it. They write this stuff.
Hello, Mr. Draven. Good to see you in our chat. Hope everything works out. Just making a joke there. Anyway, final question I'm seeing right now. Alaster says, also, will the writer's strike affect video game scripts and stuff like that? Probably not, because it's separate from Hollywood.
No, it's a different line, because reality shows and news shows are not part of this. They are members of the guild, but they're not part of this particular strike. But like I said, right now, your fall TV shows are up in the air right now because this is about the time they usually start getting rolling and having a couple of shows in the can by the time February rolls. I mean, not February. September rolls around for the fall season. Just with the directors and actors standing together with the writers gives hope for the future. Yes, because they have to stand together. Again, as I was mentioning, how many times in the old days where you get a paycheck and a residual check would pop up in your door and you'd smile. They're withholding the streaming numbers. You cannot tell me just within Netflix how many times a show was viewed, how many times, in a day, in a country, in a state. That is money that is so much that why not share it with the people that help you create this? Because back in the old days, even with Star Trek, um, you found out that William Shatner, DeForest Kelley, and the rest of them never got residuals when Star Trek: The Original Series went into syndication. When the Screen Actors Guild amended that, they could only get residuals for 10 years. Not 10 years, 7 years. Then you realize that a lot of shows, networks waited until that 7 year, um, time period lapsed, and then all of a sudden, all these shows are in syndication, so they didn't have to pay the actors anymore. I think they've amended that. I'm not sure. I have to do some research on that. Right. I can guarantee you that they can see how many watch hours, a show and movie gets on their app. Yes. Like I said, even just using Zack Snyder's Justice League as an example, we know HBO Max isn't releasing, their the viewership of that movie on their own streaming service. So basically, that's what they're doing to everyone, all the writers, all the directors, all the actors in the industry. Because, oh, yeah, well, we could pay you a few cents in residuals. Yeah, sure. But we're going to keep this heap of gold for ourselves, basically.
Yep.
So that's all it is. I mean, come on. The executives are making millions and millions of dollars.
And they're using streaming loopholes not to pay the writers, right, and all of that, and that needs to
Yeah,
change.
yeah,
There's going to have to be like so basically what the Writers Guild wants right now. They want their residuals.
no,
They want some sort of
they want the people in the writing room to get a decent living wage, even though they're not staff writers.
yeah.
They want residuals,
They also want
and
some sort of accounting of what's going on with the streaming numbers.
yeah, well,
Um,
it goes hand in hand with residuals and getting the streaming numbers honestly reported, and that's again part of the problem. Executives are getting greedy, and it again, you know, there's plenty to go around. That's what I don't get. And again, most of these writers, they're in a good line to make money for the rest of their lives. And so are the studios, to be honest. So it's not like there's not enough to go around. And then that's what astounds me.
yeah,
Yeah,
fourth here
HBO
says
Max.
HBO Max forever ruined the numbers for Zack Snyder's Justice League by releasing it so close to Kong versus Godzilla.
No, not really. Each movie is its own genre, and trust me, I, me myself and I made sure I had I have several different devices. I made sure Zack Snyder's Justice League was running on all of them. So I made sure that count got up. And like I said, all these shows that are popular, not just Star Trek, even the stuff on Disney Plus with Star Wars, you know, how much are, Filoni and Favreau making from the fact that they created certain characters? Filoni created Ahsoka, you know. Every time Ahsoka shows up someplace, he gets an extra little something. If and he's been directing the episodes with Ahsoka, so he gets a director's share too, and he's a producer, so that's three.
Yeah.
So in a way, all three guilds have to work hand in hand because most of the people that are doing it are the same people, and
That is definitely true.
you're gonna notice which paycheck looks a little lighter than the other, but the one where you do the most work in is writing. Without the
Yep.
writers, we have nothing. So
Yep. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, you've got to there's got to be some accounting to be made for streaming, and with streaming becoming more on the rise and everything else, these guys got to make their these guys got to make their residuals. These guys got to be paid.
yeah, I'm just saying that there's plenty of money to go around because I've never. I mean, when I heard on local news in Los Angeles how writers today are getting second jobs and stuff because they can't afford an apartment, that's unheard of. All the writers that I know make a decent living, but those are older, people that I know. But with this, new thing called streaming, I was really surprised to hear how much the studios are just shafting writers, and you can't do that. And no, it isn't. You pay them more, you get better writers. It's called you just gotta pay them.
Yeah,
The amount of pay they get doesn't equate to the quality of writing. It
it it's the work, not the quality.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the work. It's not the quality of it.
uh, because regardless of like we said before, opinions about a show's writing, opinions about all of that, that's subjective. Like one man's trash is another man's treasure. Somebody may really love She-Hulk, you may not. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean the writers should lose money because a small handful of the fans didn't like the show.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
always going to be. I mean, you get paid for the
mhm.
amount of work, not the quality of the work.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Again, don't berate something you don't like or you don't agree with. Be a little bit more mature about it because you have all these other options. That's the other thing about streaming. Okay, fine. You don't like any of the Star Wars Disney things. Hey, you got all this stuff on Netflix. You know, I just finished watching Queen Charlotte, which is an offshoot of Bridgerton on Netflix. There are other things to watch. There's other things to actually enjoy. Without writers, we don't have movies, and you're
That
going around
says
and okay.
without writers, we wouldn't have movies and TV shows. So support the writers. True.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. It's like I've been saying it's nice that all the guilds are supporting each other, because
And
to
I
be
know you
honest,
were joking, Fourth.
um, they're all getting basically all those guilds are getting screwed. Um, One of the other things that some studios were requiring was that the directors, even though they know they're in negotiations right now, they want the directors to cross the picket line. Um,
Okay, number says here, would I be out of my mind to say since all three guilds are working together that it'd be surprising if the strike should last longer than 90 days?
yes,
It's probably gonna last like 4 to 5 months, 6 months at the shortest.
yeah. I mean, guys, batten down your hatches. We have streaming. There's plenty of stuff to watch, and I'm sure your watching queue is just as long as mine.
Dear
So,
Lord, our watching queue is horrible.
hey, yours, mine, and the one we have together.
Yeah.
But people, again, this is post pandemic. Come on, guys. There's plenty of money to go around. There's no reason to be greedy. To be this greedy just kind of hints at a bit of a mental problem. But I won't go that far. But I do sometimes. But
Select Fourth says here, Tubi is honestly my main streaming service. Some good low budget indies. I agree with you. There's a
yeah,
lot of good stuff on Tubi.
Yeah, there's
And look,
TV. Yeah.
indie movies are great. I love indie movies. As much as I love IPs, I love the smaller things that you don't see all the time. I love indie horror movies. That's my main thing is indie horror movies. Um, I like period piece movies, stuff like that. I mean, there's so much more than the IPs that we hold to.
Mm-hmm.
But saying that, I can understand why those IPs are important to us because they're important to me too. So, stuff like Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff like that, I'm always going to return to. But there's so much out there right now with streaming. We should do okay through this writer's strike, but it is going to be a table holder. I mean, we're going to be there for a little bit.
Yes,
The
because
last strike
again,
was 100 days. The strike before it was 150. So I mean, that's the better part of a year.
yeah, and again, it's like pretty much everything's come to a grinding halt. And notice like some of the live shows, um, was it the MTV Awards, ended up being pre-taped because um, what's her face that was hosting it pulled out, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Saturday Night Live's been off the air.
yeah, all the live
Um,
shows they can't they need to have live writers because you do need last minute changes. It's not, you think, oh, you have a movie, the script's done, oh, we can still shoot this. No, because you still need to alter some things. And again, if for any that's done any acting, sometimes when you say some lines out loud, it just doesn't work. You need to change it. You actually need a writer to officially change it. They use different color copy, different color paper to indicate how many revisions that script's been gone through. All little complicated things, which I'm pretty sure you really don't need to know, but that's part of what happens. Um, but yeah, brace for impact, guys. Prepare to catch up on your viewing queues on all your streaming services. This is going to be a while. Um, the whole fact that they're not talking to the writers at all is not encouraging. I should have brought the um, link because it's actually the link to the entertainment community. If you want to donate some money to help them with lunches and stuff when they're picketing, um, but it's going to be several months, and I'm sorry, to whoever complains. Yeah, yeah, that's up to the problem. We're not going to have any fresh shows to watch, but we just came out of a pandemic. Life is different. People realize their value, where certain executives still think we're all a bunch of serfs to be commanded, and we're not. And what's going on? You're bringing up something, and you're muted again. Ah, the strike signs.
yeah,
Yes.
I was bringing up some of the pictures from the writer's strike.
Yeah. Yeah, Jane Epson. I follow her a lot. She was a writer on many shows that I like, of which, of course, I don't remember right now, but they're all good. And she even gives writing tips if you follow her. But everybody remember the Nakatomi building
Yep, that's
from
the
Die
Nakatomi
Hard?
build from yeah,
From Die Hard, which
from
is in
Die Hard.
Century City. Um,
Let's see here. See if I can find some of the other stuff.
mhm. But yeah, I mean, just brace for impact, guys. We're not going to have any new shows for a while. At least stuff that isn't already done with production and stuff.
Here's
But hey, Isaac.
here's Mandy and Bob Odenkirk out there on the strike line. You killed residuals. Prepare to pay.
Hmm.
Hey, what's up, Isaac? How you doing, buddy?
But it's good that everyone's supporting each other because they're going to have to go to the same contract negotiations pretty much. See, the sad part is we're telling all the studio executives, "Hi, free up the money. There's plenty of it." You know, that's what I don't get. I really don't. Especially when I heard some of the numbers that the streaming's making. Because, like I said, with streaming, it's global. It's not just what's going on in the US. And it's not like a handful of, you know, shows that are going to rerun in India or something.
Yep.
They can count every single time we watch something, you know? Every time I run through, Star Trek, the original series, whether, it's on Paramount Plus or on Amazon, I'm hoping and praying, somehow those residuals still get to the families of those people in the original series and Next Generation. Okay.
Looking for something real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Binge watching. Okay. The movies, some of them might get pushed back now because the movies need to have some sort of steady income. Plus, also, a lot of people realize, hey, I can stay at home. I don't need to go out and watch all this. I mean, because I was thinking, even if you just have a family of four, that's four people you're going to go buy a movie ticket, buy popcorn and drinks for. That's a lot of money. I should just stay home and watch it, or, just wait until it streams. So, that's up to the individual. I personally stopped going to see movies on a regular basis because I was on disability and I have, a limited amount of income. So I only go for the stuff that if I want to see it on an IMAX screen or, science fiction stuff that's heavy on visual effects. If it's a drama, I'll stay home.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, my favorite Disney show I actually enjoyed. Yeah, Once Upon a Time and its spinoff and Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh yeah. Oh please. When Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, the first one came out, that DVD when it came out lived in my DVD player for like 6-8 months. I played it every single day.
Let's see
And
here.
yeah,
No,
it could.
it could affect it. It just depends on how much of the script he's got ready.
Okay, first of all, guess what? James Gunn is also in that predicament. He's a member of all three guilds.
Yep.
He's also one of the ones that got pulled in saying, "Hi, you got to come into work," but not allowed to work on the script, even though he is the producer and director of the movie. He cannot work on the script. So yeah, there's going to be a delay.
Alastair here says, and I know there's also people out there that also use unofficial methods to watch movies and shows. And
Yeah.
Vince backed it up with this. He says, "Don't let the studios fool you. They add piracy numbers to gauge if people are watching, and they do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I mean,
the studios know what's going on, and they know when people pirate things, and they
oh
run
yeah,
those numbers too.
yeah. I mean, I remember when they were HBO was still in a huff and a puff for Game of Thrones, not the House of Dragons. Game of Thrones was the number one pirated show in the globe when that was run on its first run shows, and they kept track of it because hey, they had the honor of being the most pirated show, outside of also having a damn good viewership too. So, you know, thank you, Vince. Yeah, don't let the studios think that oh poor, these executives, oh poor is us, we don't have enough money to pay people. We're gonna screw everyone we can so we can have all the money to ourselves. That's basically what it is. So don't fall for it. Yeah, exactly, Vince. Picard and Manda were the most pirated because they were the most popular shows. And again, it's still an amount of indication of the success of the show. So again, try not to believe the studio heads going, "Oh, woe is us! We had the pandemic. We're not making enough money. Oh no, dear me! How are we going to pay the bills to keep the lights on?" You have plenty of money to pay the bills and keep the lights on. Pay your
Also,
people.
also just incidentally, we now pretty much have an answer as to why certain things go off of streaming services very quickly. It's partially their way of not wanting to pay the writers involved.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, it's a limited run. It's really weird, retarded loopholes, and this is what happens when you leave circle, which means I can you hear me
yeah,
now?
you're roboting a little bit, but you're there. I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. Hello. Oh, seems like we might be
Yeah.
losing Stella again.
Well, basically, yeah.
But yeah, it's oh, hello Hal, how you doing?
Hi, Hal. If you could hear me.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the writers' strike in a nutshell, and what they want, and how we're going to fix how the problem will get fixed. So for the next hour, well, for the next half hour or so, I will field whatever questions that you guys want to talk about. Just comic books, movies, TV, anything you want to talk about. We'll field some questions because I need to pad this out till we cross the midnight hour. So
Can you hear me at all?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh yeah, Mando. A lot of people said they didn't like it because what is it? Looks like the Mando story's done. No, you're still trying to figure out what's going on with Grogu and stuff. I mean, I think they just altered it because it looks like maybe Mando's going to take up the was it Rangers, the Rangers show.
Yeah, basically they're padding out Din Djarin's character with what should have gone to uh, Gina Carano's character had she not messed up.
Yeah,
So they're going to use him to kind of pad out the Rangers of the New
Rangers of the
Republic
New
thing.
Republic. That was it. Yeah,
Um, now let's see here,
Brain
not
doesn't want to
fourth.
work right now.
Hal Jordan says, any comments about the Superman Legacy casting rumors? Like I always say, take those rumors with a grain of salt. I don't know some of the people they're talking about for him, but we did bring up a picture of David Cransweet or whatever. I say he's got the look for it, but I don't know his acting talent because I've not seen anything with him in it. But like I said, any rumors you hear right now, take them with a grain of salt because James is coming out and swatting down a lot of those rumors. Yeah, fourth, that was part of the problem with
Hmm.
Mando season three. They didn't like the fact that Bo-Katan and others got like more story ahead of Mando. But let me remind you, and this is something that that John Favreau and Dave Filoni came out and said. The Mandalorian isn't just about Din Djarin. It's
Hmm.
about the Mandalorians as a whole.
Hmm.
So uh, that's really how you're going to have to look at it. It was never going to be just Din's story.
Yeah, because I mean, I see it as when the whole show is called The Mandalorian, and even when they brought Boba Fett on, it's the book of Boba Fett. I think what happened is when they were thinking about doing a Boba Fett series, they realized that Boba was a bit on the limited side. So then they made The Mandalorian, which could include Boba Fett and the story of the Mandalorians. So the Mandalorian isn't just about Din and Grogu. It's about any any one of the Mandalorians. That'll help fill out the story, of in that section of Star Wars.
Uh,
Uh,
I'm just starring some questions here. Uh,
yeah, I noticed,
all right,
and I'm
so
going
here's
back
where
to the
we're gonna.
top so we don't get too confused.
Okay, so Alastair says, Thade, to start off, do you think the rebooted Transformers universe will continue after Rise of the Beast since they brought Unicron early? Yes, most likely. As long as they make money, they will continue making Transformers movies. So if that
Hmm.
movie does anything good at the box office, there will be more. So yeah, I will say there will be more. Um,
Did you get this one from
Vince.
Vince?
Not yet. I like Mando season 3, but I want them to advance Grogu. For being 8 episodes, I found some of it to be filler. Yeah, there was a lot of filler that season. I do have to admit. Um, and yes, I would love them to advance Grogu's story. I mean, he did well for what they gave him.
Hmm.
But I think that with the way that the Luke Skywalker story fell apart when it came to Grogu and the studio interference, I think that they should do more with Grogu, and push his evolution farther, like him aging up and everything.
Yeah, I think he will because I think he's going to be the Mandalorian that rides the mythosaur and all that stuff. Because remember, Din was like when Grogu kept those two Mandalorians from fighting. Din's
Yeah,
like, you didn't learn that from me, and then you realize that he did. Grogu, remembers when Din kept someone else from fighting. So he's learning to be a Mandalorian and how to handle the Mandalorians.
yeah.
So we'll get that in the future.
All right. Did you hear about? Yes, I did hear about the Blossom reunion rumor, and I hope that they get a reunion show, especially with her having issues here lately with her show going off the air and some other stuff going on. Uh, her leaving Jeopardy and all that. I like her as an actress. I wish her well, and I hope she gets work in the future. Yes, I did hear this, and like I said earlier about Nicholas Hoult, I'm starting to really appreciate him as an actor. Um, Stella and I are currently watching The Great on Hulu, and he is hilarious as hell in that show. It's really given me a respect for him as an actor. I
Yeah,
think that he could do so much more.
yeah. I also subjected him to Sandcastle, which features Nicholas Hoult and Henry Cavill. Um, that I did a more, that's a dramatic situation for both him and Henry. But next,
Stella and Theta, are you guys into rap? And if you are, any rap groups you're into? Personally, for me, Wu Tang Clan was my favorite. Okay, so in the '90s, I was into a lot of rap music. Tupac, Biggie, Snoop. I don't like so much of the new stuff. Couple of the newer rap musicians that I liked have been murdered in recent years. So it's kind of depressing there. Um, Other than that, I haven't been able to get
yeah,
into modern rap, if that helps.
yeah, I'm kind of the same because I was there when it started. Sugar Hill Gang and the rest of them. The only one, I used to follow Wu Tang a little bit, but I'm haven't listened to music in a long time, which is sad because I used to work at a music store, so it becomes a chore sometimes.
Uh, okay, so my opinion about A24, I think it's a bit overrated. They have some great movies, they have some hit or miss movies, and they have some movies that I think are pretentious as hell. I think my favorite A24 movies, I'll have to say, are X and Pearl, um, Midsummer, uh, Hereditary, which is one of the few horror movies I can't actually finish. because it bothers me quite a bit due to a certain scene in the movie. Um,
I can't
some
say
of
much. Go ahead.
some of the other stuff I haven't really seen of theirs, but yeah, that's pretty much my opinion of A24.
A24 to me is just another production company. I I've seen some of their things, but I don't think they're grander than anybody else. I think they're making product and it's being seen. That's all I have to say about it.
That's about the best we can give you, Alastair.
Yeah, sorry. I don't promote just a single production company because there's so many out there, and you have good years, you have bad years. You might have one good film, a whole bunch of ones that'll hardly get seen.
I guess the Boba Fett actor didn't like how his character was written, and he wasn't invited, as talked about, to be on another of the shows. Okay, so let me make this pretty clear about Tamara Morrison. This isn't the first time he's gotten sideways about something Lucasfilm has done. He was pretty unhappy back during the prequel days too. Um, he's known to be a bit of a problematic actor at times. Uh, I understand that he didn't like stuff that happened with his character. I get that, but to make a big deal of it publicly is kind of not the way you want to go with that. He should have brought that up with Lucasfilm instead of making it public.
Yeah, plus also I think it might be, the reporting, social media making, you know, uh, a mountain out of
I,
a molehill.
I also think that a lot of this stuff gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're the guy that's playing Boba Fett, and you're not getting as many phone calls as you thought you would be, but you got to understand things happen. So I don't think Tamara's being shunned for sure. That's why I'm like weird, and like I said, people will say anything, misinterpret something just to get the click. So don't fall for it, folks. You know. So that's
What are
pretty
your
much.
hopes for Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 and Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun? I hope they're good games. Space Marine 2 especially. I really enjoyed Space Marine 1, and it's about damn time that it gets a sequel. Um, other than that, as long as they stick to the lore and they do it right, I'll be happy with them. I, Billy Zane would do good as Lex Luthor, I think. Uh, but they'd better,
Oops.
oh, oh.
Yeah, Sandcastle was
Sandcastle
the
is
thing.
a great movie. Like she said, she introduced me to it the other day, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, there has been a Thundercats and a He-Man movie, both promised but not delivered yet. When we get closer to those, I will probably happily watch both because I remember those shows from my youth. Nicholas Holt was in Warm Bodies, and that's a really funny movie. Nicholas Holt playing a zombie, becoming human.
Ah,
Holt was, yes, he looks great in Renfield. I have not had a chance to watch that yet. That's on my list to watch and then review on my personal YouTube channel. So X and Pro were great. That's another one. Infinity Pool is another one on my list and available to me to look at here pretty soon. So, oh no, they're nothing out of the ordinary, but they're still pretty good movies. I mean, they have a they fit into a genre. Is all I'm saying. I have not seen that yet, so I don't have an answer for you on that.
what's your opinion on Power Rangers Forever?
I just said I haven't seen it,
Oh,
so I don't have an
okay.
opinion on it yet. I haven't watched Power Ranger stuff since the early 90s.
I never watch it at all, so can't say anything.
Hold on a second. I'll answer that in just a moment. Hold on.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not a gamer, so that's all for him.
Okay. Which version of The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 do you like the best? PS3 or Xbox 360? I did not own a PS3, so I played them on Xbox 360, and I enjoyed both of them for what they were. Just about any Star Wars game I'll play. So, thoughts on Ralph Bakshi as a director and his films? I loved his Lord of the Rings animated movie. It was really good. I also love his animation. Next, the A24 movie for him was Marcel the Shell with Shoes on. That's a hard title to say. I have heard of that one, and it is one I will look into. I heard it's an interesting movie. Movie actually got a few tears out of me. Well, that's promising. Yes, he was. He played one of the Bullet Boys or whatever. Heard Marcel was great. Okay, see if there's any other questions. Have I seen Evil Dead Rise? In fact, I watched that movie last night, Numbers, and all I have to say about that is cheese grater. Definitely different though for an Evil Dead movie. Yeah. I, I'm still processing that movie, so I do, however, have a review coming up for that movie next week on my YouTube channel. So, uh, for the first two Jedi Temple levels have ancient Sith Lords for bosses too. Yes, they do. Hold on. All right. Free Fire is definitely. Have I tried Jedi Survivor yet? No, I have not been able to afford that game this month. So, but it is on my list of things to play. I am still currently working through Fallen Order though. Free Fire is definitely one of A24's most underrated movies. That is not one that I have seen, but I will look into it. Which anime manga do you like the most, and how much do you think they'll be alternative to current entertainment due to the writer's strike? Well, considering that American animation is not part of the writer's strike, probably won't beat too much. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I do have a few. In fact, I watched one this afternoon that I really love. It's an older one called Macross Plus, which is part of the Robotech line. I also like older stuff like Slayers and Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh, Bleach, Cowboy Bebop. Those were all my favorites back in the day.
I haven't seen
I
the
haven't
Mario movie.
I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my list of things to watch and review. So I will let you know in the next couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah, I like playing it. Just haven't seen the movie yet. Like I said, I'm poor. I have to wait till streaming.
Well, just so you know, Solo, we do have access to Mario, so through the one server we use. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Uh, oh yeah. I will at the end of the episode, at the end of the show, I will have Stella put the YouTube link for my channel, The Undiscovered Country, and I will be doing that particular review on Wednesday night.
You gotta look. You gotta hold up. You want to do the questions while I go look for the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you handle that then. Okay.
Will do. Yes, Fallen Order is so good, and I've heard of this trick. I have not done it. I'm actually thinking of restarting my game when it comes to Fallen Order because I haven't gotten too far into it. So it wouldn't hurt me too much to go back and restart over. The only thing that bothers the heck out of me about Fallen Order is the is all of the environmental hazards. Oh my dear lord, those drive me insane. They're worse than the enemies in that game. Wizards is an amazing movie. My father showed me that years ago, and I loved that movie. Um, since I like Yu-Gi-Oh, what do I think of Pokemon and Bakugan? I'm not really into Bakugan, and I was into Pokemon for a little bit when it first came out back in the 90s, but I haven't really paid attention to it recently. I have heard the new Zelda game is amazing, so I'm gonna have to look into it if I get a chance. Uh, yeah, I'm probably gonna restart my Fallen Order gameplay, because I chose to go to the other planet, not Dathomir first, and I really want that double saber. Oh, this does not make me happy, Vince. This does not make me happy at all. I am so not looking forward to environmental hazards. Dude, I'm a Zelda master. I've beaten every Zelda game ever made. The last Zelda game I beat was Twilight Princess. So it's been a while. Oh, yeah. Also, there's really hard puzzles, and definitely had to look up a couple of solutions online. Yeah, there was one afternoon while I was playing Jedi Fallen Order that I had YouTube going on one screen, and I was playing the game on the other, running run throughs of the game levels. Did which Metal Gear game do you like? Lester, would you believe I have never played Metal Gear Solid or any of the Metal Gear games? Um, that's not a series I've gotten into, but I wouldn't. I will look into it. I have access to them on my Xbox. I just haven't gotten into them just yet. Zelda and Mario, your games, dude. Back in the days, Zelda and Mario were the jam. But there is so much more I'm obsessed with right now. Here lately, I've gotten stuck on playing Star Trek Online, which is basically like my newest crack. And I'm gonna blame Brian and Vince for that. I got stuck on Breath of the Wild, a dungeon you have to distract guards, and just gave up. Which do you think would work as a live-action Netflix series? Pokemon, Digimon, or Yu-Gi-Oh? Probably Yu-Gi-Oh. Pokemon would be wildly weird. Jedi Survivor is basically Star Wars National Treasure. Oh, I could believe it though, Vincent. I could believe it. I have never gotten into Ben 10. That was more my kids. Stella has dropped my. This is my YouTube review channel. Um, so anybody in the chat that would like to go and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. I'm building this up as a television, movie, and video game review channel. The only rule that we have on this channel is don't be a hater, be nice. That's all I ask.
Sorry, yeah, it took me a while to find it. I was like, where is it?
It's rather hard to find. I have trouble finding it, which is amazingly hilarious. You logged into STO today and did the daily. Yeah, I log into Star Trek Online like every other day and play for a little bit. I'm still working on my Klingon character. Oh, I have a question. Has anyone seen the trailer for Knights of the Zodiac? That movie looks amazing. No, I haven't. Let me see something here. Let's see here. Oh, wow. That looks pretty. Sony. Hey, Stella, do you think I'd get in trouble for showing a Sony trailer?
Probably.
Okay. Well, I would show that trailer, but I don't want to get the channel dropped. I will look into it though, and from what I just saw a second ago, it is pretty. Thade Bays, ever thought about giving game mods a try? I used to game mod all the time on PC. So yeah, I have given game mods a try. I used to game mod for some Warhammer games. Let's see. I used to game mod for Warhammer 40K Dawn of War. Um, Vince, I do have it on my PC as well as my Xbox. So if you want to play Star Trek Online on PC, we can get together and talk about that. George Miller, Justice, Mortal, and they were about to start shooting that movie until the writer's strike happened and got canceled. Yes, that is true.
Is it actually canceled or just put on hold?
I think he was talking about a previous writer's strike.
Ah.
To be fair, the closest thing to live action Pokemon is Detective Pikachu. You are true. You are true. I still think that a live action Pokemon movie would just be delightfully disturbing. Especially if you live actioned all those Pokemon. That would be a lot of special effects. I agree. It looks good. I'm going to give it a deeper look, see what I think about it. How much do you revisit the Old Republic games? I have both Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 on my PC, and I play them from time to time. Because those are some of my favorite Star Wars games ever. I also used to play the Old Republic online game, too. Again, we've talked about this one, honey. All right. I heard it's okay to show trailers as long as there's no songs in it. Yeah, I don't have the wherewithal to slow through a trailer right now. Do you think that the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie is underrated as adaptations go? I liked the first Mortal Kombat movie. I did not like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So, that's my answer on that. I do not remember what I called that mod because you're talking about 20 years ago. You weren't disturbed enough by Mr. Mime. That was disturbing as hell. Mr. Mime should never be live action. That's a disturbing.
I don't have a reference point, and I don't think I want to know.
You also mentioned this to mind if I recommend 2 mods for Space Marine 1. The first is Augmented mod, which gives multiplayer more stuff. Oh, yeah. I know about some of the mods for that first game, for the first Space Marine game. Those are really good mods. True, MK1 was actually pretty good. 2 was abysmal. Yes, so much so. Abysmal. Okay, my opinion on the new Crow remake. I love the original movie. I read the original comics. Brandon Lee did a great job. But to be honest, had he not unfortunately died, that movie would just be another cult classic. Um, I am terrified about the new remake for The Crow, but I have hopes that Skarsgård can do it right. So let's just see when we get there, okay? I'll have a better opinion when we get there. Annihilation was atrocious for being a theater movie. Had it been direct to video, not so bad. I agree with you right there. Annihilation was horrible in the theaters. Second mod I recommend is Project Ultra, which is a campaign rebalance mod that makes the game in line with the lore a bit. That's cool. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, Brandon Lee did The Crow rather well, and it was unfortunate that he died young. Um, he had all the makings of a great upcoming star. It's just a really unfortunate situation. I will say this though, I do like one of the other sequels to the Crow movies, but it's not one that a whole lot of other people like. So he became a true legend. But I heard this new adaptation of the comics is an adaptation of the comics as opposed to a remake of the movie, and that sounds good. Yes, I do like the idea that they're going back to the original James O'Barr comic. That book is really good. They like the main characters having helmets because the Codex said Astartes need helmets to go into battle fully, and guardsmen able to kill enemies along with the two Marine buddies throwing nades. I could see where that mod would be best. Yes, Rapid Fire is an awesome movie. I do not recall the name of the one with Dolph Lundgren, but Rapid Fire was a good movie. Again, we lost a really good actor when we lost Brandon Lee.
And we're caught up.
Okay, so damn, 23 minutes. What can we talk about that I can BS my way through 23 minutes to get us to midnight? Anybody have any comic book questions for me? That's another one of my things. Movie questions. I'll field anything at this point. Just don't ask me about my private life. Let's see. Some weapons got rebalanced and reworked, replaced with other weapons like the powers are being replaced with the power sword. Okay, that's cool. Showdown in Little Tokyo. Okay, Larry.
Ah.
I just don't know why do they have to do the Eric Draven story again. There's been other characters who have been revived by the Crow. I do agree. Some of those others are such awesome characters. There was one I read. Hold on, let me find the name of it really quick.
Peter Rabbit's Defender, yes.
What's up, Peter Rabbit? How you doing, buddy?
Nice to see ya. But back to that.
Where's it at? Memento Mori is a really good story. I love that story. See. Oh, where is the one novel I really liked? Hold on. Quoth the Crow was really good. You know, even though it was a horrible movie, the Wicked Prayer was a good book, was a good story. It's just the movie was horrible. That's probably another one of my favorite ones. Vince, to answer your question, a little after midnight will be the end of the stream because William is not coming back this evening. He's going to finish up his TROMANIA stuff and go get some rest, I hope.
Yeah, but the thing is, can we end the show?
Oh, after midnight, yeah. We're going to end the show. Like, right as I cross midnight, probably 5 minutes after midnight, I'm going to end the show.
You know which button to hit to end the show? That's what I mean.
Oh, I'm gonna have to message him so he can end it.
That's what I meant. Okay.
We're
still subjected to.
Chaos Marines get shaken into different Chaos Warbands. Like, oh, that's cool. That's great. Is it true the creators of the series Dark are adapting Something is Killing the Children? Yes, they are. And I am so looking forward to that. Larry, have you read The Nice House on the Lake? That's actually written by the same guy who does Something Is Killing the Children. It's another good comic by him.
Good to hear Peter's good.
Good. The next question is down there with the crow.
Yes, I know. I'm getting there.
This one is this one.
Ah, I got it.
Okay. When do I think the X-Men will come to the MCU? They will be in after Secret Wars. Really big. I mean, some of the X-Men and some of the mutants are going to be part of Secret Wars, but I think we're going to have to wait till Phase 7 to see any of the X-Men come into the MCU in any major way. No, I love the Crow. The original Crow is great. Some of the other sequels, not so much. Being in line with Warhammer lore because Nimrath is a champion of chaos and divided. The Chaos Gods will fight and send their best warriors. Dude, I'm gonna definitely have to look into those mods. Yes, the original Crow movie is a classic. I love that movie. There's some awesome Crow comics they could turn into movies. Like I said, Memento Mori. I think there's one called Hack and Slash is really good. There's some there's definitely some really good Crow comics they could turn into movies. Or at least what would be really cool is have one of the streaming services do a live action Crow series and have each season be a different Crow. That would be and tell a different story. That would be great. Okay, that's cool. Again, I will look into this mods. This looks cool. All the stuff you're sending me there. That's great. Very excited. Okay, so you haven't read House on the Lake yet? Please do. It's great. A Crow anthology, yes. I think a Crow anthology series would be amazing. And you could do it so well with the 10 episode format. 10 episodes to tell a certain Crow's story, and then the next season is a new Crow.
That would make sense, especially the way streaming's going.
Yeah. The augmented mod has content that ranges from Horus Heresy to current times with Primaris and Galen. Oh, that is awesome. Cool. Dude, the Crow soundtrack is one of the best movie soundtracks ever. That one's right up there with me with the Lost Boys soundtrack and the soundtrack to the movie The Breakfast Club. Some of the best movie soundtracks ever. Oh, and the soundtrack for Queen of the Damned, even though that movie was horrible. The soundtrack is good, though. Queen of the Damned is a horribly atrocious movie, but that soundtrack is amazing.
Mm-hmm. We're caught up.
Okay. Oh, let's see. We got 15 minutes, people. Hit me with some more questions.
Text William.
I'm already on it.
Thank you.
That would be perfect because the titular character is the actual Crow. It could be the only thing in every season. Yeah, and that's what you would have. That's the connecting tissue is the Crow. It's the resurrecting force that brings the person back to life to fix the wrong things. Dude, I have got to write up a treatment for that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Holy crap. That would be awesome. Anyway.
Don't be a scab. Do not cross the picket line. But hey, if you want to start writing and then pitch it to a network or a studio, you never know.
My favorite song on the Crow soundtrack is Burn by The Cure. I love the song Burn. In fact, I sing it karaoke a whole lot. Queen of the Damned soundtrack is amazing. Redeemer, great song. Forsaken, great song. Change in the House of the Flies, great song. If Brandon had never died, is it true they wanted him for a 3-picture deal? That is exactly true. There was going to be a trilogy based around his version of The Crow. And it was going to start following... It was going to do the first movie like it did, but then it was going to start following the storyline from the comic book and beyond that. And unfortunately, that did not happen.
Yeah, if you want
due to his untimely death.
Yeah, if you want some of the legal ease, usually it's a three-picture deal with an option for more. But it does depend. It does depend if the first movie was successful or not. So yeah.
Okay, more mod stuff. Yeah, definitely. I will look into those mods, Alaster. Yeah, I'm going to pitch that now that I think about it. uh, drop one down below that. Dick here wrote the lyrics about the comic for Burn. Yes, they did. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Good to see you.
And
Thrill Kill Cult After the Flesh is good. That is another good song. Yes. Golgotha Tenement Blues is another good song too. Uh, oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that. That's cool. Hoping Paramount do the Crow 4K remastered. It would look incredible in 4K. God, I hope so. I would.
Paramount's notorious for dragging their feet on remastering, though. They think it's too expensive. Again, studios, they will reap the profits, but heaven forbid they pay their people and actually upgrade their own film stock.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just being horrible.
Could you give me? Could you post that question again to the chat? The only question I saw was the three picture deal one.
Hold up. Is that?
Yes, Godfather 1 and 2 on 4K looks great. My favorite song from Queen of the Damned was Cold, but I was also a big Static X fan. Yeah, Cold is an amazing song. I love that song.
Was it this? Did you answer that one?
No, I've already answered that one. It was beat under the Crow guy there.
I'm a little confused. I'm not sure which question you're talking about.
Yeah, if you would go ahead and re-ask the question that you think I missed, that would be great. The Crow.
Yeah, because we're caught up.
My favorite Crow song is "Believe in Angels." That's actually a good song too. Queen of the Damned had an amazing soundtrack. Yes, it did. So
Yes, it
did The
did.
Crow. So did The Lost Boys, and so did The Breakfast Club. All great shows. All great soundtracks. If you guys were to make your own Lovecraft Mythos video game, what would you make it about?
That's for you. This is straight over my head.
Gee, God, there's so much. I would love a game based on At the Mountains of Madness. That would be amazing. Uh, that would be amazing. At the Mountains of Madness would be a great game. I could do so much with that. I would also wouldn't mind having a Reanimator game where you had to fight off what Herbert West brought back to life. That would be cool. Machines of Loving Grace is a great band. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to look into all that.
And we're caught up again.
Okay. So, question for people in the chat. I'm going to turn this around on y'all. How many of my comic book readers in the chat, what are y'all reading? I'll give you some time to answer that question. Because I just finished a couple old Superman Elseworld stories. I finished a story called Cal and a story called True Brit, both of which were very interesting. I'm still in the middle of reading Dark Knights of Steel, which there's only 2 more issues left of. They're not out yet, and I just read Sins of Sinister for the X-Men on the Marvel side. Sins of Sinister Part 1. House of Wax 2005 was one of the amazingly underrated soundtrack though. It was a good soundtrack, just not one of my faves. Nothing on the comic book question, y'all? Nothing? Nothing at all? Nothing? uh, all right,
So,
fine. Hit me with some more random questions then. Movie questions, sci-fi questions.
yeah, my brain doesn't want to work today.
Haven't read any comics as of late, but the last one was True Brit. Yeah, True Brit was great. I loved it. Satellite Sam, It's Erotic by Matt Fraction. Dude, Matt Fraction's Hawkeye was really good. Understandable. If you ever have the money, though, Vince, uh, DC Universe Infinite and Marvel Unlimited are both really good apps that you can read thousands of comic books for DC and Marvel at. Thought on the Rock coming in Fast franchise, please. I just have to admit here, guys, I am not a huge Fast and the Furious fan. Um, so I don't have an opinion on that. Aside from God, there's way too many of those movies. Dude, Matt Fraction's Hawkeye is what they based the Hawkeye limited series on Disney Plus on. So read it. It is so good.
Yeah, I tapped out
Dude.
on Tokyo Drift too.
Dude, I tapped out after Tokyo Drift too. But Tokyo Drift is my favorite movie, so of that franchise. Which Sandman are you reading, The Crow? Okay, let me ask you. Have you read Death, the High Cost of Living? If not, you should. It is a really good graphic novel. For Dawn of War 2 and Chaos Rising for campaign, there's Vengeance of the Blood Ravens, and for Retribution for multiplayer, there's the Elite mod and the Starties mod. Oh, okay, cool. That's great. There's a new one being made recently called Dawn of War 2 Eternal. Oh, that's cool. Hoopla is free because it's a public library app. Yeah, I've heard of Hoopla before. You brought it up to me before. I'm looking into it. Yeah, I heard that. Dude, Aaron, that would be awesome. Dude, if they ever do that, I have to have a Breakfast Club TV show. That would be my jam. Same. I love Tokyo Drift. Yeah, Tokyo Drift was great. I would love a movie based on The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. There actually is one.
Yeah,
It has.
it's terrible, but they haven't struck the right note yet.
Yeah, there was a movie called The Raven. It's about Edgar Allan Poe. It has. Damn it, I can't remember his name. Hold on just a second. It has John Cusack in it. John Cusack, Luke Evans are in that movie. And Brendan Gleeson. There's a Dawn of War 1 prequel story mod called Fall of Sarian. That's cool. I've always thought a Mike Flanagan 13 Ghosts 13 episode Netflix miniseries would be great. Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's the movie we were just talking about. That is a good movie. The Raven with Cusack in it is really good.
And we're caught up again.
Okay. Looks like we're ticking down the clock.
Six minutes to go, and I'm on the brain dead side tonight, so
Yeah.
Nothing wants to work. Internet, brain, stuff like that. Sorry for the dead space.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm trying to get a hold of William. What do you think of Lovecraft stuff appearing in the media? And did you know Cthulhu's son was in an Ultraman show called Ultraman Tega? Yes, I did. And I liked the show Lovecraft Country. And I love the fact that Lovecraft stuff's getting put into various things. Did you ever see the movie Underwater, Alastair? That was a good one. That had Cthulhu at the end of it. Um, not to be confused with not to be confused with Vincent Price's
Yeah.
1963, The Raven. Hey, do you think a movie based on The Raven by Poe would be good? Yes, actually, I think it would be great. Speaking of Luke Evans, the series The Alienist is actually a really good show.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to watch that.
A Fifth Element TV show would be awesome.
Oh, that's what that's about. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, The Alienist. It's awesome. I have not played the remake on that, but I did play the original Dead Space, Alastair. If anyone's interested in any comics, I would recommend Witches by Scott Snyder. Dude, that's an awesome looking comic. I haven't read it yet, but it looks interesting. Oh. I own The Fifth Element on physical 4K. Great movie. Would love a show. Dude, that would be an awesome thing to mine for a show. Yes, Emilio Estevez is working on Young Guns 3, and that does excite me. I like that idea. And most of the guys are on board with doing it, so.
Mhm.
Young Guns 3, Old Guns.
Pretty much.
Oh, that's hilarious. But
Very
true.
well seasoned guns.
Yes, he is making Young Guns 3. All right, guys, I'm going to mute just real quick, see if I can't get William on the phone. So give me just a second, Alastair. I'll answer that question here in a minute.
I'm sorry. This is what all the allergies and stuff have done. I'm just like, brain doesn't want to function. I actually saw Starship Troopers a long time ago. Yeah, so yeah, I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to end up reading that one here pretty soon. Keep going down. Ever want a Transformers Star Trek crossover figure that transformed into the Enterprise? That would be awesome. To answer your question, Aaron, I have seen all of the Starship Troopers movies and the animated series Rico's Roughnecks. So I've seen all of it, yes.
Okay.
I have not read that comic yet, Alastair, but I've heard it was interesting. There's William.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're about 1 minute from crossing the midnight hour, so.
Wow.
Yeah. I, unlike William tonight, have shepherded you through the midnight hours, so I hope everybody enjoyed. Everybody be safe, and subscribe to my channel if you would to see those reviews that we talked about earlier.
Don't be pimping your channel on our. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Hey, you weren't here, so too bad.
Hey, everybody!
Thank you for everything, man.
Everybody's saying hi to you, William.
Yeah, Fourth was here.
Yeah.
Fourth was here. I got pictures of Fourth that we need to use to replace the walrus. Thing. So yeah. Rhea was here too. Rhea helped.
Yep.
Rhea, they have now joined the religion of Sister Kim's Kitchen.
Yeah.
They are now.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I come out there, I'm going to join you. I'm going to join you with that.
Everybody who comes out here is getting marched straight down there. See, they're down there.
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
what they are.
we know.
But good. So yeah, everything went well here. We're about to wrap up. This has been long and tiring, but it's been fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Lloyd. Wish we could have got him on here longer, but there's just a lot of chaos going on around us, and we had to get
Dude,
his premiere going. So
Lloyd's just as awesome as I remember him from back when I met him back in the day. So
cool. Like I said, listen, somewhere on that little old man's phone is James Gunn's number and mine. Now, mine is way down on the category of lost, but it's still on the same phone. So, all right. What did he say? I
all
didn't
right.
even see what he.
Fourth said that the walrus stays.
Yeah, you know what, Fourth? Hey, when Fourth came out to Vegas, and now we have blackmail footage. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. We will
All
go
right,
ahead and wrap it
everybody.
up. Thank you both for running the show while I was dealing with this. And
Not a problem, boss man. Not a problem.
most likely I will be on the air after I convalesce sometime tomorrow. If not, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who has a mother,
Yes,
had a
happy
mother,
Mother's
is a
Day.
mother. Spend some time with your parents tomorrow, because, like I said, the last 2 years have shown us nothing's guaranteed.
Mhm.
All right,
Definitely.
guys, we ready?
Yeah, take it easy,
Yep.
brother.
All right,
Have a
see
good
y'all
night.
later. Bye.
Sure.